So I have two methods that I use all the time, and they're tried and true for me. The first is I keep things very simple and I break them into threes. So I call this the skeleton key method because I think it unlocks every door of content, which is just literally I come up with one idea and I say, okay, what are the three things that are important within that idea? So for example, I'll coming up with this off the fly. If I say I'm going to make a podcast about parenting, I'll say, what are three things, three categories, three ideas that I want to talk about in parenting? And one could be child behavior, one could be education, and one could be healthy lifestyle for kids, right? So those three topics already in your head create imagery of what the show could be about. And then I go into each of them individually and I say, okay, what are three more things? So I go, okay, within children's healthy lifestyle, what are three things within that I would want to talk about? And I go down that road and I say, okay, within children's healthy lifestyle, there's children's exercise, there's children's food and or nutrition, and there's children's mindset or attitude, right? And then in each of those, I can go deeper and say, okay, within children's nutrition, what are the things I want to talk about? Like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? And I keep going down this road, and each of these becomes a new branch of content, and it goes on forever. And all of these, you can imagine, each of these individual topics has their own whole branch of ideas that you can come up with every day. So that's what I call the skeleton key method. And I do like to think in threes every time. Each of those could be its own show, just talking about those three things broadly or diving into them more specifically, explaining your how-tos or your best kept secrets or your why, certain things. Your perspective, your ideas, all your experience within a topic is going to inform the episodes, but the content topic itself has to come from brainstorming like this. The idea is that it's not random. It's not just what you feel that week. It's pre-planned and designed over time and mapped out. So a brainstorming session like that will do you guys a lot of good. The second method, I like to think of it as the way authors write books. Concept is simple. You figure out what either topic or what solution you want to figure out for your audience. Say, okay, today I want to figure out how to help people, like we said, raise kids, right? So then you jot down every single ingredient that you think people would need to know to understand how to raise kids better, right? And you just list all the things that come to your mind, come up with 20 of them, right? 20 things that you think people need to know. And then within those 20 things, you ask all the questions that you think people would have about that particular ingredient. And then you answer those 20 questions. And those 20 questions all become chapters and subchapters of a book. And now along the way, you might have to delete things and say, okay, out of these 20, really only 17 of them I like. But think of it as you're designing all the chapters in a book. And then within those chapters, all those questions you're answering would be the subchapters and subtopics of the book. Every subtopic is a podcast episode, and they all add up to this book of knowledge that we're recording in an audio format, and we're calling it a podcast. That's another way to get out there and quickly start creating content that is designed, that is branded, that works towards a particular goal and isn't random. Those are my suggestions for you guys today. Hope that was helpful, and I'll catch you guys next time.